All right, so any inductees or members of the Silver Anniversary team, we need you over on the front next to the stage to my right, to your left as you're looking. If you're out here in the crowd, if you're a member of the Silver Anniversary team or one of our inductees, if you're wearing a tux, head this direction to my right, your left, so we can get started. Thank you. And folks, I'd like for you, unless you're in line for a beverage, please head to your table. We're probably 2 or 3 minutes away from getting started. 2 or 3 minutes away from getting started. Thank you. I'm sure I will be back your way soon. One more time, we'd like for you to head towards your seats if you could. Need Circle Center officials as well. And if you're on a Silver Anniversary team, hello, Mr. Dixon. If you're on a Silver Anniversary team or one of our inductees, please head to stage to my right, your left as you're looking at it, so we can go ahead and get started. Thank you very much. Okay, he's on the new one? Okay. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. I'm doing 3 and 4. You? You'll be a good game, though. you'll have fun with it. So, good to see you, Ferg.
Okay.
But if not, they know that we
So you'll read his name?
Yes.
And they just stay.
We okay? Yeah. And so just to make sure.
Of course, absolutely. Take care of him.
All right.
You could stay up here, because when I introduce everybody, and Mark gets to be up here, and once you're seated and he's seated, we'll go. All right, folks, please get to your seats so we can get started. This evening tends to be a great evening, sometimes runs a bit long, so we'll give you 30 seconds to find a seat, auction off somebody else's. Baltzy has a whistle in case it's needed. He will give out technical fouls if need be as well. All right, folks, we're going to get started. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. This is one of the most fun nights of the year for any basketball fan across the state of Indiana, as we get to recognize great teams from 25, 50, and 100 years ago, tremendous players from 25 years ago, and some of the best players and coaches that we've ever had the privilege of watching hone their craft here in the state of Indiana. Again, my name is Greg Rakestraw. I am honored to serve as the Master of Ceremonies for tonight's event. And with that, let's welcome the people that will be joining us on the dais this evening. First of all, the members of the 2023 Silver Anniversary Team. Brian Ray. Greg Tonigal. Adam Seitz. Rodney Smith, you make it in. I won't skip you next time, I promise. Jared Odell. Joe Nixon. Maynard Lewis. Isaac Kincaid. Rob Kent. Jabril Conte. Patrick Jackson. Lincoln Glass. Herman Fowler. Tom Coverdale. And Adam Ballinger. Our inductees, Brad Stevens. Drake Morris. Kirk Mans. Jack Hogan. I think I know where Jack's family is sitting. Mike Lightfoot. Dennis Goins. I think I know where all of Rushville is sitting. Darren Fitzgerald. Oscar Evans. I live just north of 34th Meridian. I know that neighborhood very well. Richard Butt. And James Blackman Sr. We'd like to, you guys can have a seat, please. Feel like the sermon's about to start. You can please be seated. We have a formal in memoriam page on page 18 of our program listing Hall of Fame inductees who have passed away, and we please ask in their honor that we observe a moment of silence for them. Thank you. With that, I'd like to welcome Dr. Phil Eskew, Hall of Fame past president, to provide our invocation for this evening.
According to your own beliefs, let us bow our heads. We gather here this evening to praise and honor the lives and careers of our living and deceased inductees. Each honoree has been blessed with talents that enabled them to succeed both on the court and in their daily lives. We thank our honorees for living their lives in a way that has inspired us to model our own lives and those of younger players after them. Our deceased inductees will be forever remembered and recognized by the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. We pause to give thanks for the many coaches, teachers, and teammates that motivated and touched their lives. We give thanks for their parents and family who sacrificed, took them to many practices and games, encouraged them to play by the rules, to never give up, and to be a great teammate. We give thanks for the leadership and vision of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. We ask blessings on all who have gathered this evening as we acknowledge the accomplishments of our honorees. Bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies, and we give thanks to those who prepared it. Guide all of us as we return to our homes safely with renewed memories of the wonderful game of basketball. Amen.
Well done, and thank you very much. All right, folks, it is time to eat. The great staff at Primo's will take care of you, getting food to your table. Go back and see the bar, get an extra beverage. We will reconvene at approximately 7 o'clock as we induct our honorees and recognize our silver anniversary team. Thank you very much. body has been served. All right, folks, consider this about a 5-minute warning. You want to make another trip to grab a drink or a trip to the bathroom? Now's the time. We're going to get started here in about 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Buck, how you doing? All right, I won't try to channel Reb Porter and say "tua" the way he would, but 2 minutes. So if you could get back to your seats, please. 2 minutes. We'll get reconvened. Thank you. Okay. All right, folks. If you're in line to get a beverage, please stay there. And know that our wonderful staff is going to continue in terms of taking care of tables and things like that. But knowing that this is a wonderful evening, it could be a long one, let's go ahead and get started. So we ask out of respect for all of our honorees that you please silence cell phones. It says turn off. I know you want to take pictures, so don't turn them off. Just make sure they are silenced from this point in time forward. Let us thank Marianne Sullivan here at Primo's and the wonderful staff for a tremendous meal. Thank you very much, the good folks at Primo's. I want to take this moment to recognize the Hall of Fame staff. Executive Director Matt Barton. This is his first Hall of Fame banquet. Congratulations, Matt. Yep. They did? I got a free phone then, thank you. I know exactly who this is because that's a picture of their daughter on the phone. So, Taryn Kent, come get your phone, you have a chance. You handed it to the right person. Maybe I just hand it to Rob right in front of me. He can pass it along. He wants no part of this. We'll set this off to the side. Kayla Kessler, thank you. Cheryl Betton, thank you. Trip Lukemeyer, Noah Dahlquist. Any and all that are at the Hall of Fame staff in Newcastle, please stand and be recognized if you have the chance. Rob got a text on his phone to go track that down. I was trying to figure out a way, Rob, to work how your daughter was nice enough to drive back from Missouri S&T to come watch you be inducted or at your silver anniversary team, and somebody left their phone in the hallway. It's amazing how that works. If you enjoyed visiting the Hall of Fame Museum, for those of you that could be there for the reception in Newcastle today, if you want to support the Hall of Fame by being involved beyond today's festivities, consider joining the membership roll. There's more information of that on page 7 of your program, and there's free Hall of Fame materials at each table that you can take home. Hall of Fame notepad, copies of the Indiana Basketball History magazine, museum brochure, membership brochure, etc. And an event like this is not possible without great corporate support. So thank you very much to Raymond James, the Indiana Pacers and Indiana Fever, the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association, the IHSAA. I've seen many members of the executive committee, Commissioner Paul Neidig, that are all here today. Of course, a very busy week for them with the Boys State Finals coming up on Saturday. Thank you so much to Citizen State Bank, Henry Community Health, Jostens and the good folks at Shepherd Insurance, please support the advertisers and businesses that support this event and the Hall of Fame every year. Now, let's welcome the president of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Mark Baltz has his president's greetings, and he'll have our first 3 award winners of the night. Mark.
I've told you now for the last couple of years to rehearse, we need a little more applause for the referees, okay? For the sake of brevity and due to the length of this evening's program, I will simply second Greg Rakestraw's opening remarks and thank all of those previously mentioned. And for my part in regard to the opening remarks, I would simply like to thank all of you present this evening for being here to honor these great honorees, as well as our distinguished contributors to the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. It seems like just yesterday that I first became president of this great organization, and it's still mind-boggling that an official, not even from the great basketball state of Indiana, would even be selected for this position. But I thank all of the Hall of Fame for that honor, for allowing me to serve in this position, honoring the great players and coaches and contributors that make up the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. This evening, we add the class of 2023 to our hallowed halls. After this evening's festivities, I will only have 3 more months left of my 2-year term. What I thought would be a smooth, easy ride almost 2 years ago, it was nothing that I could have prepared for. But thanks to our great staff in Newcastle, previously recognized, along with the best board of directors and executive committee anybody could have, that's what I've had these past 24 short months. It's featured the hiring of a new director of development, Trip Lukemeyer. Then that was followed by having to replace our beloved former executive director, Chris May. And thanks to the work of our great search committee, which performed admirably, we were able to find Mr. Matt Martin, previously introduced, and hire him as our new executive director here this evening for his first annual Hall of Fame banquet. Piece of cake, right? This president's job, there's nothing to it. So, as they say in law enforcement, though, we got our guy. Matt has hit the ground running in his first year, and all we've done is simply complete a large remodeling project, which those of you saw today that were there in Newcastle. We hope you liked what you saw. And just about the time I'm ready to leave in June, we will begin our major nearly $4 million expansion project, which has been on the drawing board for some time, and will finally have ground broken this summer and come to fruition, projected 1 year to completion once construction begins. Needless to say, we do have meetings, and yes, we do get things done. The Hall of Fame is made up of many players, coaches, and contributors who are integral parts of many teams, all who contributed to the great history of Indiana high school basketball. It is with great pride that we, those in past, current, and future leadership positions of this body, are charged with maintaining your Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, and we love continuing to serve. We sincerely thank you for your continued support. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy another great meeting. Thank you. First on my agenda this evening is the presentation of the 2023 President's Award. Tonight it gives me a great deal of pleasure once again to present my second President's Award to a very deserving recipient. My award this evening goes to an individual who has served in numerous capacities here at the Hall of Fame, including a board member, member of the executive committee, as well as currently serving as the secretary of that committee in our predetermined progression at the Hall of Fame. This person will soon become our executive vice president and eventually be right up here taking my place as president of this great organization. He's a graduate of Rushville High School, where he starred with other family members on the Rushville Lions roster including his brother Dennis, seated right here, one of tonight's Hall of Fame inductees and honorees. He went on to play for past Hall of Fame President Jerry Pearson at Miami of Ohio. He was an Indiana All-Star in '76, Miami of Ohio grad in '80, and a 2015 Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame inductee. I have chosen him for my President's Award this evening due to his performance over the last several years as chairman of our very important annual membership committee, one of the primary committees that we have at the Hall that helps drive this ship that we proudly call the Basketball Hall of Fame. Both during and after the years of COVID, we have set record years in our membership drives due to Rick's leadership, his membership committee, and our Hall of Fame staff in Newcastle. Please put your hands together and help me honor our Executive Committee Secretary, Membership Committee Chairman, winner of the 2023 President's Award, Mr. Rick Goins. Rick. All right, this will be the last you hear from me, then the rest of the great program will continue. Get my paperwork in order here. I told everybody if I came to rehearsal, we'd do this a little better. Each year, the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame honors 3 individuals for their contributions as Indiana high school boys basketball officials by giving them the Center Circle Officials Award. Tonight's 3 outstanding officials are recognized for their contribution to our great game of high school basketball here in Indiana. As they are introduced, we asked each recipient or their representative to come to the stage where they will be met by my friend and board member, Mark Massariou, 2019 Center Circle Official Honoree, who will present them with their plaques. Tonight's first honoree is Larry Butch Jones. The late Larry Butch Jones was a 1958 graduate of Logansport High School. He was an athlete on the basketball and baseball squads where he earned MVP on both teams his senior year. He continued his academic career and played baseball at Ball State University. He worked 29 sectionals, 21 regionals, 7 semi-states, and 3 state finals, 1990, 94, and 99. Butch officiated football for 57 years. And during that time, he was a member and former president of the North Central Officials Association, along with being involved in rules interpretation meetings in football and basketball while serving as a clinician as well. Mr. Jones was a teacher for 38 years at Logansport High School, where he also served as their baseball coach. Very close personal family friend Bill Titus joins us up here this evening as well, a Logansport native, and he will assist Mark in presenting the plaque to Butch's son Matt here this evening representing the Jones family. Let's congratulate 2023 Center Circle Officials Award winner, honoree, the late Larry Butch Jones. Our next 2023 Center Circle official honoree is James Robinson. James is a 1966 graduate of Henry Wood High School here in Indianapolis, where he played baseball. James attended Indiana University and earned a degree in accounting. His extensive officiating career included 29 sectionals, 20 regionals, 4 semi-states, the 2001 3A Boys State Title game, along with 2 Indiana-Kentucky All-Star games. He was 3-time president of the North Central Officials Association out of Kokomo. He also served as their vice president while serving as a clinician, rules interpreter, and observer. James also has an extensive officiating career in football and baseball, earning the 2002 IHSAA NFOA Baseball Official of the Year Award and the 2002 National Federation Distinguished Official of the Year. He is retired from Bona Vista programs in Kokomo. Tonight we honor 2023 Center Circle Officials Award honoree, Mr. James Robinson. Our third and final Center Circle official honoree is Mr. Tom Rohr. Tom is a 1965 graduate of Montezuma High School, where he played basketball and baseball. He led the basketball team to a 17-6 record, averaged 13 points, where they made it to the sectional final game in 1965. He was a 4-year starter in baseball. His basketball officiating career has included more than 40 sectionals, 28 regionals, 11 semi-states, and 6 state finals, 2 in 2A and 4 in Class 4A. He's a member of the Wabash Valley Officials Association, and he also serves as their vice president. He continued to help his fellow officials as a rules interpreter and clinician. Tom currently resides in Montezuma, where he works at the Geneva Hills Golf Club in the Pro Shop. Let's congratulate 2023 Center Circle Officials Award honoree, Mr. Tom Rohr. That's it for me for a little while. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
He's taking all my jokes. Right there. Thank you, sir. Next up on the order of business is honoring previous state champs. We start with the 1923 Vincennes High School team. They ended the streak of 3 straight titles of the Wonder Five from 1920 through 1922. Vincennes finished that season 34-1. That is the most wins ever by a team in the state of Indiana. That number probably gets brought up a little bit this weekend since Ben Davis is going for win number 33. Now, there's folks from Kokomo here that have other ideas about that. Just thought I would point that out to you. But this Vincennes squad that went 34-1 defeated Muncie 27-18 in the state championship. The lone loss for the Alices that year was to Evansville Central. Vincennes defeated Lyons, Franklin, and Anderson before then beating Muncie. The Alices were coached by John Adams, who was inducted in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in 1970. Coach Adams coached for 19 years, won 438 games. Vincennes won 9 straight sectional titles, 8 regional championships to go along with that state title.
Vincennes was led by John Wolf in scoring that year. He had 15 in the championship game. Other team members, Byron Harper, Raymond Allaga, Harold Mayo, Furman Wampler, Reese Jones, Loyal Duncan, and Edwin Prulidge from 100 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, Vincennes High School. Next up is the 1973 state champs, the New Albany Bulldogs. Kirby Overman's team won the state championship against South Bend Adams 84-79. That was played in front of 17,000 fans at Indiana University's Assembly Hall. At the time, that was a record for the most to watch a state championship game. New Albany beat Franklin 77-76 in overtime to get there, and the school record for most points per game in a season still belongs to that Bulldogs team from 50 years ago. They averaged 75.3 points per game. Head coach Kirby Overman was elected to the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021. I'm now joined by Jerry Pearson, who will be presenting the plaques for this team. And now we want to welcome those that could join us tonight. Dale Slaughter, the family of Julius Norman, the family of Norman L. Mukes Jr., Charles Mitchell, Alan Buck, Coach Kirby Overman, Don Perry, the family of Bill Finley, Jerry Bell, Michael Carter, and the family of Bobby Grant and Randy Farrar. Ladies and gentlemen, your state champs from 50 years ago, the New Albany Bulldogs. Guys, thank you very much. If I remember right, I think New Albany's tournament run began by beating my hometown by about 90-something points in the sectional. Lanesville was nothing but a mere speed bump for the Bulldogs back in 1973. Isn't it wonderful to see so many people here celebrating this from 50 years ago? Obviously now we get to 25 years ago, and this becomes the first time that we have 4 state championship teams to recognize. So we will go from 1A through 4A. What you will notice with this is that we will have the teams stand and be recognized. We'll read those that are here. We will have someone from our committee to help present the plaques as well as take a picture. So with that, we begin with the 1A champs from 1998 from Lafayette Central Catholic High School. Coach Chad Dunwoody was the youngest coach to win a state title since Ike Tallman won it at 1963 with Muncie Central. CC was ranked number 5 in the AP poll coming into the tournament. They were led by sophomore Eric Washington, 14 points and 9 rebounds a game. The Knights were 17-3 during the regular season, with losses coming to Harrison, McCutcheon, and Benton Central. CC defeated Prairie, Rossville, and Carroll to win the sectional title. They defeated Bloomfield 56-48 to win the inaugural 1A crown. Of course, in those first couple of years, we had the Tournament of Champions. They would beat Alexandria in 2 overtimes the following week, 113-106. before losing to Pike in the Tournament of Champions finale. The Central Catholic Knights went 25-4 that year. And we are joined tonight by Brad Metzger, Dustin Johnson, Bill Bogan, Eric Washington, Danny Shoecraft, Kyle Schaefer, Rich Gilman, Ryan Gilman, Chad Dunwoody, John Budzinski, Mason Budzinski, Sean Martin, Tim Bullis, Rick Gilman, Dave Worland. Just in case you were wondering, they're actually located at Southport High School, all the way over there. This is played to a big room, folks, every year. Congratulations to the Knights of Central Catholic. Now, we referenced the 2A champs already, and that would be the Tigers of Alexandria. Alexandria became the 6th different Madison County school to reach the state finals when they reached those state finals in 1998. That was the late Garth Cohn's 21st season. They defeated Tipton and Frankton to win their sectional title. They were able to get past Eastbrook, Bremen, and Northwestern before then beating Southwestern of Hanover by 14 to be the 2A champs. Senior forward Dave Porter led the Tigers in scoring at 20 points per game. He was the leading per-game scorer of any of the teams that won a state championship that year. Ellick finished the season 14-6. They were 8th in the AP poll that year, and they finished 20-7. We are joined by 2 members of the Alexandria Tigers tonight, Joe Granger and David Porter. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1998 2A champions from Alexandria. Next, we are joined by the 3A champions representing Cathedral High School. Cathedral, 4 losses in 1997-98. They were ranked number 7 in the state, but they trailed rival Chittard by 18 by 2 points, or excuse me, trailed by 2 with 18 seconds left to go. They found a way to win 57-56 in that sectional final. Senior Rylan Hange, you may know him from his days at Butler, led the Fighting Irish with 17 points and 9 rebounds a game. In the 3A state finals, third-year head coach Pete Berg led the Irish to a 72-47 victory over Yorktown. Cathedral finished the year 22-5. We are joined by the following members of the Irish: Chris Hess, Bobby Allen, John Shelbourne, Rhonda Harden, Mike Davis, Zach Fox, Terry Fox, head coach Pete Berg, the man that would go on to become the head coach at Cathedral, Scott Hicks, Grant Sturley, Greg Piper, Ken Roseman, Philip Brown, and A.T. Simpson. Scott Hicks, of course, a playing legend in his days at Cathedral, as is Ken Barlow, is presenting the trophies or the plaques as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1998 3A state champions from Cathedral High School. Let's also mention, I mentioned the name Bobby Allen. And for those of you that are following the current state tournament, Bobby is the head coach at Guerin Catholic High School, who is playing for a 3A crown. If Guerin is able to beat Northwood on Saturday, Bobby would become the 5th person to have won a state championship as both a player and a head coach. Best of luck on Saturday, Coach Allen. And I also know that potentially the 5th or 6th person that could do that is also in the building tonight, that being Don Carlisle, the head coach at Ben Davis High School. Once again, the folks from Kokomo have something different to say about that. Just in the interest of fairness, we're not picking sides here in the banquet. Now let's please acknowledge our 4A state champs from 25 years ago, the Pike Red Devils. Pike was ranked number 2 in the final AP poll. They beat 7th-ranked Noblesville and 10th-ranked North Central to earn their sectional crown. The regional did not get any easier. They had to get past top-ranked Anderson, doing so 68-65. Pike was the 14th different Marion County school to reach the state finals at that time. Isaac Kincaid, who is up here with us tonight, led the team in scoring with 19 points. Rodney Smith, also on the podium tonight, 14 points and 6 rebounds. He's also serving as a videographer as well. Hello, Rodney. Chris Thomas was a freshman, went on to be a pretty good player at Notre Dame and win another state title. He averaged 14 points a game as well. Championship came in Alan Darner's third season at the helm of the Red Devils. They defeated Marion 57-54, and they would go on to beat Central Catholic to win the Tournament of Champions. Pike finished that season at 30-1. Let's welcome those that are in attendance tonight. Again, Isaac Kincaid, Rodney Smith, C.J. McClyman, Troy Inman, Mike Linville, Chris Thomas, and my buddy, the grown man, Ricky Buckley. That's an inside joke that 6 people at the table got, but appreciated that. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1998 4A and Tournament of Champions, the Pike Red Devils. Rodney, you get all of that on your cell phone? You good? All right. We'll make sure we got more cameras on that. And now, a special time of the night where we recognize the gentlemen that are up here on the front row of the podium. These are amongst the 18 best basketball players we want to recognize from 25 years ago. And to do that, we welcome, well, a legend of Indiana broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, from WCSI in Columbus, here's Sam Simmermaker.
Thank you, Greg. Hi, and a pleasant good evening, everybody. Each year, the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame honors a silver anniversary team from 25 years ago. To read each team member's full bio, please turn to page 48 in your program. Let's begin by recognizing Tom Coverdale of Noblesville. He scored 1,911 points during his high school career, including setting 9 school records. As he was named Mr. Basketball in 1998, Tom led Indiana University to the NCAA National Championship game and scored 1,217 points in his career. Tom Coverdale. Adam Ballinger of Buffalo, of Bluffton, sorry. What apologies to White County, is it? Adam scored 1,419 points in high school and was named the Northeast Indiana Player of the Year and First Team All-State. He helped lead Michigan State to 3 NCAA Final Four appearances, winning the national championship in 2000. He had a 12-year professional career in Australia, winning numerous MVP awards. Adam Ballinger. Queth Droyne. Bloomington North had an outstanding high school career and led Bloomington North to the 1997 state championship with a 28-1 record. He then led Syracuse to the NCAA national championship in 2003 with a 30-5 mark. Not present, but we honor Queth Droyne. Herman Fowler, Kokomo. He scored 27 points in the 1997 state finals and averaged 17.3 points per game his senior year. Herman, or Big Worm, as he was called, played football at Indiana University. Herman Fowler. Lincoln Glass of South Bend Clay. He scored 916 points in 100 games, helping Clay win the conference. 3 of his 4 years, he was first team all-conference and conference MVP as a senior. After his successful stints at Lincoln Trail Junior College and Auburn, Lincoln played professionally overseas for 7 years. Lincoln Glass. Patrick Jackson of Delta. In addition to scoring 1,241 points, he set the school season assist record. At Ball State, Petey scored 1,348 points, helping Ball State beat Kansas and UCLA in the Maui Classic. He was an academic All-American and team captain as a junior and senior. Patrick Jackson. Next is Jabril Conte. Bloomington North, a valuable member of the last single-class championship team in 1997. He then helped Indiana State win 2 Missouri Valley championships, where they participated in 2 NCAA tournaments. Brill then played professionally for 13 years, winning championships in both Argentina and Uruguay. Jabril Conte. Rob Kent of Jennings County. He scored 1,253 points, named All-Conference 3 times, leading his team to 4 sectionals and 2 conference titles. He played 101 games at UIndy, finishing 3rd in career assists and 1st in career steals. Rob Kent. Isaac Kincaid of Pike. He averaged 19 points per game, leading Pike to the state championship, and was named All-Conference, All-Metro, and All-State. He played at Illinois State and Ashland. Isaac Kincaid. Maynard Lewis, Terre Haute South. Maynard scored 1,632 points during his high school career and was named Mr. Basketball runner-up. He was a valuable member of Gene Cady's Purdue team that made 2 NCAA and 1 NIT appearance. Maynard Lewis. Joe Nixon of Valparaiso, who had an outstanding high school athletic career and was named Academic All-State in basketball, ranking 5th out of 505 graduates. Joe also reached the state finals 4 years in tennis. At DePaul, Joe scored 1,546 points during his career, was named first team All-Conference 3 years, an academic All-American, and played in the Division III NCAA tournament. Joe Nixon. Jared Odell of Oak Hill. Scored 1,465 points during his career, averaging 23 points per game, and was the state's leading scorer as a senior. He played in 109 games for IU and was on the NCAA national runner-up team. Jared Odell. Steve Reynolds, South Bend Riley. Scored 759 points in 64 games. He averaged 16.9 points per game during his senior year at Western Michigan. After a brief professional stint in Norway and Austria, Steve became the head girls coach for South Bend, Washington. They were the state 3A runner-up in 2021 and the state champions in 2022. Steve Reynolds, who is not present tonight. Adam Seitz, Pike Central. He scored 1,943 points, averaging 20.9 points per game in 92 games. He set 5 school career records. He played for Jim Cruz at Evansville, scoring 1,155 points to go along with 398 rebounds. Adam Seitz. Rodney Smith of Pike. Was a key player for Pike as they won the 4A state championship. At Purdue, he shot 54% overall, 44.3% from three-point range, leading them to the NCAA Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. Rodney Smith. Greg Tonigal, LaPorte. Greg had an outstanding career in high school, averaging 21.4 points per game as a senior. He started all 4 years at Valparaiso University as they made 4 NCAA tournament appearances after winning 4 conference championships. He is currently the Indiana Wesleyan head coach, Greg Tonigal. Brian Ray of Plymouth. He scored 1,250 points as they went 67-8 during his 3-year career. They won 3 sectionals, 3 conferences, 3 holiday tourneys, and 2 regionals. Brian Ray. Handing out the hardware tonight has been Chad Gilbert. Ladies and gentlemen, the headline hoopsters from 1998 to 2023 Indiana Basketball Silver Anniversary Team.
First of all, great job as always by Sam Smurmaker. But Chad Gilbert likes to be referred to as Chad Gilbert and his man bun, just so you know. Because I am so jealous because we're about the same age of his ability to grow hair and my lack thereof. Now, a couple things. Rodney, if you want to go ahead and get the camera back out for me right here. Okay. We'll call that camera 3. Rodney, just so you know, DVDs available of this program by logging on to iscsportsnetwork.com. And for everybody here in attendance, if there is somebody here that could not make it, now is the time to text them and say, you can watch this via the iscsportsnetwork.com, YouTube, and Twitter feeds as we speak, hence the cameras that are back there. So thank you to Greg, thank you to Vince, and thank you to Jordan for directing that. The other person I'm going to give a little good-natured grief to, because I always do, is Greg Tonigal. Greg has gone the reverse. Most of us have longer hair in college, and then it goes shorter as we get older. Coach Tonigal has gone from a buzz cut at LaPorte and Valparaiso to growing out of his hair all of a sudden. You're looking sharp, my friend. Congratulations on the Luke Brown news today, by the way. And for those that do not know, Greg was a heck of a basketball player at both LaPorte and at Valparaiso. But simply put, he has turned into one of the best college basketball coaches outside of Division I in this country, and simply put, has built a wonderful program at Indiana Wesleyan. And frankly, the award that Mike Lightfoot is so richly going to get here in a few minutes, I would think Greg will be up for that at some point in time down the road as well. Congratulations, Greg, on a job well done at Indiana Wesleyan. And nobody can see this, but Jabril Conte's shoe game is absolutely fantastic. So when the show's over, come up and ask, because he's rocking them. It is now time to recognize our Hall of Fame inductees. And as a reminder, you can find out more about each inductee by going to page 27 of your program to learn more about these tremendous honorees. We start with the inductees that are no longer with us. Our first honoree tonight is the late Henry Chapman from Fort Wayne Northside High School. Henry was the first player to exceed 1,000 points in Allen County. He led Fort Wayne North to semi-state as a junior and lost to Gary Roosevelt in the afternoon of the state finals as a senior. He played through frostbite on his shooting hand while changing a flat tire in sub-zero temperatures the night before the game. Representing Henry is his sister and grandson, Lucille and Trey Matthews. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Chapman. Next, we honor the late John DeVoe from the Park School. John scored 73 points in a high school game before playing 3 years at Princeton. Princeton won the Ivy League his junior year. He served as captain and was named MVP his senior year. He is the father of Ellen DeVoe and was the first president of the Indiana Pacers, John DeVoe. Accepting his induction plaque is his widow, Jane Nolan. Ladies and gentlemen, John DeVoe. In case you're wondering, Park School is now what's part of Park Tudor, and 73 points is more than me and Balt scored in our entire careers combined. Next, the late Henry Ebershoff, Lafayette Central Catholic. Henry played in 61 games, scored 860 points, and scored 30-plus points 7 times. He played at Purdue, playing for George King. Twice named All Big Ten. His career free throw percentage just shy of 85%. Representing Henry and receiving the plaque is his son, Craig Ebershoff. Ladies and gentlemen, the late Henry Ebershoff. Our next honoree, the late Ken Gunning, Shelbyville High School. After 3 years at Shelbyville, Ken was named All Big Ten 3 years at Indiana. He led Coach Everett Dean's Indiana team in scoring all 3 years and was named the All-American team his senior year. Ken coached at Western New Mexico and Wichita State before returning to lead Connorsville to the regional championship in 1956. Representing his family and accepting his induction plaque on behalf of Ken Gunning is Kathy Schmidt, his daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, the late Ken Gunning. The late Jim Oler, Economy High School. Jim scored 1,260 points in high school before going to Florida State. At Florida State, Jim scored over 1,800 points. That was the school record at Florida State for 39 years. He averaged just shy of 30 points per game as a senior and scored between 32 and 42 on 12 occasions. He was the head coach at Brevard Community College. He won 353 games, lost 85. That is a winning percentage there of 81%. Representing Jim is his son, Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, the late Jim Oler. The late Phil Snodgrass, Kennard High School. Phil attended Ball State and then began a long coaching career at Blue River Valley, Liberty, Union County, and Greensburg. As a head coach, he had 350 career wins, 11 sectional crowns, and 1 regional title. He was also an assistant coach for Stacy Meyer in Greensburg when they won back-to-back state championships in 2013 and 2014. Representing the family and accepting the plaque on behalf of Phil is his widow, Nancy. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Snodgrass. It is now time to award our Indiana Pacers silver medal recipient, which includes induction into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Our winner tonight is Bethel College, then University head coach Mike Lightfoot. Go ahead and applaud, absolutely. Mike led the pilot program for 30 years, winning 794 games. Won 3 NAI national championships, 4 National Christian Collegiate Athletic Association championships. He was the 9-time National Coach of the Year and was 6 times the Coach of the Year in what is now known as the Crossroads League. The Pilots were ranked number 1 on 36 different occasions and was ranked in 76 consecutive NAIA Division II polls from 1992 through 2000. He was an all-state player at LaVille High School, and he played for Homer Drew at Bethel College. Ladies and gentlemen, your Indiana Pacers Silver Medal Award winner, Mike Lightfoot.
Wow, what a great turnout, and as Henry VIII said to his 7th wife, I won't keep you long. So may that shall be a hint for the rest of the speakers the rest of the night. I will try to set the tone with that as best I can. First of all, I'd like to congratulate a lot of the people up here. Many of them I coached against, coached with, they played for me, and it is truly an honor to be a part of this. And as I share tonight, there's just a few things I'd like to talk about real brief. There is no way I can adequately tell you how I feel about this opportunity to be here. I grew up in a small town, and counting cats and dogs, maybe 800 people. And I grew up between Plymouth and South Bend, Indiana. And during that time, I had the opportunity to be around some amazing coaches, and I just want to mention a few of them that had a tremendous impact on me. Virgil Sweet, Al Rhodes, Tom Hess, who's here, Tom DeBates, who's here, Jim Powers, the late Marvin Wood, Jack Edison, George Griffith, and of course, from South Bend, Indiana, John Wooden had a major impact on my life because growing up there, I remember when I was just young enough to watch a game, 5 or 6 years old, I had the opportunity to watch a guy named Mike Warren play at South Bend Central, a great player who went on and was really Johnny Wooden's favorite player at UCLA. And that just motivated me to love the game. And I grew up loving the game, and I would go out like many of these players do. They don't do it enough anymore. They go out and shovel their driveways, grab a ball, and go out and play, in the depth of the winter. But they didn't bother them at all. I'd like to make sure I share that I'd like to share a big thank you to my wife who's here, Jackie. She has been my #1 recruit for the last 44 years, and anybody that knows anything about coaches' wives are truly special. So I'd like to recognize Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. My mom also is here. We brought my mom with me also, 91 years old and counting, and it's just a great pleasure to have her there. Well, that's pretty amazing. She's here as well. Probably one of the greatest things I ever had the opportunity to do is win a national championship with both players playing for me. So Robbie and Ryan Lightfoot were able to cut down the nets and win a national championship, and I don't know of too many dads and coaches were ever blessed that much to be able to cut down the nets at the same time. So Robbie and Ryan are here, and I'd like to recognize them as well. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ryan, for coming all the way. He's coaching college basketball, drove 6 hours to be here. He should be in the portal looking up for better players. I have over 40 of my former players at Bethel that are coaching basketball in the state of Indiana. And if you could just say that, what I'm proud of all those guys. They're invested back into this great state of basketball and the things that they've done. I'm also really touched by my former teammates that are here from LaVille High School, and I'm honored that they're here. And more importantly, I'm just honored that my friends are here from Bethel College who I played with, and I call them my brothers till today. And anybody that's ever played on a team knows what it's like to have a band of brothers that you cherish and love. And every time you get together, you love and care for them like no other. And so I'm blessed with that. I'd like to thank my college coach, Homer Drew, for the impact he had on my life. And I'd like to thank Jesus Christ because of what he did in my life that made that the number one thing. Billy Graham said this the best of anyone. He says a coach impacts more people in 1 year than most people do in a lifetime. And I want to thank every coach that's been out here in this crowd that's impacted the lives of so many. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. I apologize if I let anybody off, but it's truly a great honor for me. Thank you.
Good job, Mike. Our next honoree, and we will do this in alphabetical order. Ladies and gentlemen, James Blackman, Sr. In his 4 years as a player, the Marion Giants went 95-15. He averaged 32 points a game as a senior, scored 52 in the afternoon game against Anderson of the state finals, was the runner-up for Mr. Basketball. Played at the University of Kentucky, was drafted by the New Jersey Nets, played for 6 years professionally. As a basketball coach in this state, has won 2 state championships at Fort Wayne Bishop Luers, a 3A state championship at Marion, and had a chance to coach his 3 sons, which I know ranks up there, if not more important than state titles. There was a lot of overlap in those 2 groups. Ladies and gentlemen, James Blackman, Sr.
Thank you to the Hall of Fame for this exceptional honor. I want to congratulate my fellow inductees. This is a great honor this evening for me to be inducted into the Indiana Hall of Fame. This is a moment I will cherish for the rest of my life. Basketball led me through a lot of tremendous journeys in life today. And this honor is a testament of the amazing experiences this game has given me. I'm so humbled and grateful to receive this honor. There's so many people who supported me throughout this journey. I want to first thank the Hall of Fame committee for recognizing my accomplishments as a player and as a coach. I also want to thank all of the coaches who guided me and influenced me throughout my high school and my college and professional career, who helped me understand and helped me develop more so as a player and as a person, and understand that there's more to life than just playing basketball. Ray Sims is here. He coached me in middle school and in high school. He made me realize that I had to be a student athlete first if I wanted to make it to college. With my passion and love for the game of basketball, I was fortunate to continue my journey as a coach. And I want to send a special recognition to Pete Smith, who guided me when I was transitioning from as a player to coach at 5-Star Basketball Camp. I also want to thank my administrative staff, the players as well at Bishop Lures and Marion Community who helped me with my coaching success. My principal, Mr. Bryant, is also here this evening. My superintendent, Mr. Burke, is here. And my athletic director, Mr. Morse, is here. I want to thank those guys. Those of you who know me know how competitive I am. I have definitely enjoyed the championships, the wins along the way, but the basketball has opened so many doors and taken me all over the world. But the best part of this journey was not the wins and the accolades, it was the relationships I built along the way. Talking to old teammates, guys who I played against, reminiscing, seeing players I coach come back and share their experiences with me, and coaching my own boys and watching them grow into amazing young men was the best part of this journey. Initially, I started this journey geared towards coaching in college, at the professional level. I was at St. Francis for 5 years and coached there, and I had an aspiration to coach at a higher level. But I made a decision to coach a high school to be able to be a part of my boys' development. All 3 of my boys received college scholarships and have turned out to be amazing young men. My son James Jr. is here tonight, and he's playing professional basketball and overseas, and VJ, my middle son, who's the head strength coach at Valpo University. My youngest son, Jalen, is at Stetson University, and he was newcomer of the year, and he made first team all-conference. I couldn't be prouder than the young man they became. I look back and feel so blessed at the life that I have, and the life that I was given as a parent, as a coach, and as a father. The journey of life is like basketball. The game of basketball teaches you discipline, teamwork, and the skill to deal with disappointments. Athletes and coaches can't win every game, can't make every basket, but the hard work and every day that you can put forth to become a better player and to become a better coach. That's the same with life. You don't always get what you want or what you deserve. And have learned to deal with the disappointments and failures in life, and understanding that this allows you to get up every morning and work hard so you become a better version of yourself. If any player can learn from the game of basketball, they will all be successful and be happy in life. My 3 biggest supporters, number 1 is my wife, who's here tonight. I can't take the credit for the outstanding job my boys are doing because I wouldn't be telling the truth. My wife is the one who's behind the scenes with the anchor, and she's been a part of my life in this journey, and I appreciate her every day. I want to thank my mom, who's here tonight as well, for her support, and the rest of my family. My father-in-law and my father taught me how hard work can pay off. My father-in-law taught me that the importance of education and continue to learn every day. Unfortunately, both of their lives were cut short. I just want to leave you with the short message that Life is short, so find something you have a passion for. Put your heart into it. Work hard, keep learning, and like me, you will find all success and all the happiness in life has to offer. But I'm not done yet. I just want to say thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Our next honoree is Richard Butt from Huntington High School. After Richard graduated from Manchester College, Richard coached at tiny Liberty Center with 67 students. You may have heard of one particular game they played. They lost to Swayze in the Marion Regional in 9 overtimes. You get in the Hall of Fame for that alone, right? He also coached at Lakeland and Leo, winning over 429 career games. Also spent time conducting coaching clinics in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Butt.
Thank you very much. To be recognized by the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame is an honor. I want to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, and I want to congratulate all the inductees. I want to recognize and thank all the people who submitted letters of support for my nomination. And though they worked hard, especially Marv Tudor, Mark Baltz, Bill Walker, Paul Lauver, Reggie Hayes, Kenny Hanna, and all the ones who contributed, I am grateful for your consideration. In preparing for this evening, I was able to reflect on how blessed and lucky I've been to be around so many good people. In preparing for this, thank you to the players, my assistant coaches, staff, and administrators. My career as a coach would have been possible without them. If we had heard before, a coach is only as good as the players. Coaching is about seeing the potential in players as athletes as well as team members, leaders, and good people. For me, it has always been kids. Working with them, teaching them, supporting them to be the best they could be on and off the floor. I was fortunate to have great kids to coach. They accepted their roles, listened, played as a team, and worked very hard. Some of these players are here tonight. Thank you for being here. Players from the 3 schools where I coach have continued to support me in Indiana basketball through the years. Basketball has been such a large part of my life. It has provided me lifelong friendships, memories, and opportunities. There have been many highlights over the years. The whole school only had 87 students, which was the smallest school to win a sectional that year. The following week was a 9 overtime game against Swayze. I will tell you how that would enter. Tournament wins and winning seasons are rewarding. We are able to bring these experiences to Liberty Center, Lakeland, and Leo. 3 small communities to live in and coach. The biggest highlight of my career, however, has always been the kids I have the opportunity to coach. I want to thank my family for being here. I also recognize my parents, Don and Mary Budd, who always encouraged me. They would be so proud. But most importantly, I want to them Karen, my wife of 64 years. She has been there every step of the way. Thank you for that. Thank you. For the good games and the bad ones. In the bleachers and at home. This is a shared honor. To my family, friends, and former players, thank you for coming this evening and sharing this special occasion. As I said before, Karen and I have been blessed to be around so many good people. Thank you very much.
Great job, Coach. Now, we're going to get to Brad Stevens' induction coming up in a matter of moments. Amazingly, with the last name of S, he's last alphabetically tonight. But apparently part of his job as the president of the Boston Celtics is to be like the phone depot guy. Because for the second time, he has given me somebody's cell phone. This person also, though, has their credit card information in their cell phone. So, not that I looked at your numbers, but Daryl Mason, I've got your phone, just so you know. And if you want to sheepishly come to the side, we'll see about hooking you up with getting your phone back. And I promise all of your credit card information is there too. Coach, you got that? Okay, good. Brad's a trustworthy fellow. He'll take care of you. Our next honoree is Brian Evans. Brian, of course, you know from Indiana University, played for Pat Rady at Terre Haute South High School. Brian led his team to the semi-state championship in 1991, averaging 22.5 points per game, shot 44% from three-point range. At IU in 4 years, he scored over 1,700 points. He was the Big Ten Player of the Year in 1995. He was a 39% three-point shooter in his college days. After being a first-round pick in the NBA draft, he spent 9 years playing professionally. Unfortunately, Brian could not be here tonight, but let's recognize Brian Evans. We are 1 for 2, though, on an Evans that could join us tonight, because our next honoree is Oscar Evans from Short Ridge High School. Remember back in the day for the regional and semi-state and state finals, we had a ticket lottery for the schools that didn't make it to the regional. Clearly, Shortridge won the ticket lottery because they're right here in front. Oscar played on the varsity all 4 years at Shortridge, was a senior named first team All-City, first team All-State. He led Vincennes to the National Junior College Championship, then played 2 years at Butler where he averaged 18 or 19 points a game, just shy of 1,000, and he was a draft pick of the Atlanta Hawks. Ladies and gentlemen, Oscar Evans.
That's very nice. But first, before I start, I would like to introduce a couple of people who are here that everybody from Shortridge should know, and that's Coach Theophanous' kids, Tony and Stephanie. Yeah, back there. First, I would like to thank the Hall of Fame and the directors and the select committee for this great honor. I know. This is a great honor for me for as basketball, because I really, really love the game. Just like Coach said, we used to shovel snow and play in the snow. We played in the rain. And I wouldn't be sitting here. You're only good as your teammates. So this honor is for all of you guys that are here and the ones that have passed. But the thing of it is, my career started not playing any sports at all, because we used to live out in Irvington. And that was a long time ago. We only lived on we had 4 streets. We did not have a basketball court, no football court, or no baseball court. Only thing we had was our cousin. And he was the one that got me started in sports. because he was a two-star sports star at Howell High School in the late 50s. And so after that, we moved to 1047 West 33rd, and that's when everything happened. We had great athletes, great coaches, IPS, and just on our street alone, we had 3 Division I players, basketball. 2 streets over, we had Division I football player, which was Dana Harrell. He was the first black quarterback at Syracuse University. We had one of the greatest point guards that ever played the game in our neighborhood, and he's sitting in the back there. So Jesse Laurie. Thanks, Jesse. And also football, because I was a 3-sport player. I played football, basketball, and baseball. Football players, we had one of the greatest football players at Shortridge, and Mr. Payton, he was back there. He was our Payton. And I have a lot of my sandbox buddies that played with me. Stephen Hedrick, my boy, Ray Crabtree. We in the Forest High School, we had great teams, but it all boiled down to coaching. I've always had great coaches. Like when I played basketball, Hall of Fame coach Steele Fannis. When I played baseball, I had Tom Harding, and then football, I had Don Bimbo, and all 3 of those were Butler grads, and they played at Butler. And so they were all tutelaged by one of the greatest coaches in the history of basketball, and Coach Hinkle. And I want to thank them. I want to thank our teammates here, roommate at Butler, Daryl Mason, one of the best rebounders in the country. And we've got George Pillow, we have Butch Crane, we have Dave Holt, and we also have Stevie Hedrick. But it's been a good ride for me. I am truly, truly honored, being a basketball junkie. This is the greatest honor that I've ever had, and I'm really appreciate to the Hall of Fame Board of Directors and also the Select Committee for giving me the opportunity to go into the Opera Hall of Fame, and I want to thank you.
Butler University is very well represented up here on this dais. Our next winner is a Bulldog as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Fitzgerald. Darren, of course, is an Indianapolis native, George Washington High School. Averaged 22 points a game as a senior, second best in the city. He scored over 2,000 points in 4 years at Butler. He set 2 Hinkle Fieldhouse records by connecting for 54 points and 12 threes in a game. He has the second most three-point field goals in a single Division I season, only 4 behind some guy named Steph Curry. And he still holds the D1 men's basketball record for threes per game at 5.64. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Fitzgerald.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this great honor, along with the other inductees. It's truly humbling, as well as a privilege, to be recognized with others for our Indiana high school basketball accomplishments. Receiving this honor is extremely surprising because I played the game for the love of it with no expectations. Never taking any of my skills for granted, never cheating myself or my teammates. Leaving everything on the court every time I played. I always appreciated my gift. confident that my hard work would pay off and be noticed. What's funny is I really thought I would be playing this basketball game till I was 70 years old. But unfortunately, circumstances change along with reality. I'd like to thank some very important people in my life who motivated, encouraged, and supported me throughout my journey. My mom and dad, who were my rock until their passing. My wife, and the rest of my family, coaches, teammates, and many friends. This has been a great evening and a memorable moment that has solidified all the hard work of my basketball career. This is what I call the icing on the cake. I thank everyone so much for everything that you've done. Thank you.
That may be the first inductee that Baltz is taller than. That's impressive. Next up, Dennis Goins, Rushville High School. Dennis was a starter on Rushville's state runner-up team, scored over 1,000 points at Rushville High School. Played 2 years at Vincennes, 2 years at Southern Illinois. Dennis, an award-winning television photographer in his days working in Indianapolis, but these days is best known for running the television department at Ben Davis High School. And it's very true to what James Blackman said earlier. While Dennis has experience in the professional realm, he's impacting a whole lot of lives in Wayne Township. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Goins.
Greg, you forgot one thing. The number one scorer at 416 East 7th, Rushville, Indiana. We want to remind my brother Rick of that. Congratulations to my fellow inductees, and a big thank you to the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this honor. Today has been a great day for our family. We thank God through my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this recognition. This is a family award. It's not about me, but he and we. We thank God for my grandmothers Bradley and Goins, because without them, we would not have had my parents, Joseph and Luella Goins. My parents loved all of us and valued learning. We understood do what is right because we had the positive male and female example of what right looks like. My uncles, aunties, cousins, nieces, nephews, great nieces, great nephews, all gave us hope. I thank God for my family for always being there, for supporting, loving, and encouraging us in everything. Mama and Daddy taught us to work 10 times harder to be 10 times better. We wish we had the time to tell you all about the Bradley and Goins family tree successes, but we promised our Hall of Fame shooting guard, Rick, that we would hit the 3-minute speech limit. This family tree is and always will be about faith, family, education, love, and community. To be inducted into the Hall of Fame is a tremendous honor, also for friends, coaches, teammates, classmates, and our communities. A special thank you to my Hall of Fame coaches, Larry Angle, Dan Sparks, and the future Hall of Fame coach, Don Lowstutter, and their families. We are grateful to have played with Hall of Fame players, Brad Miley, and the best shooting guard ever, Rick Goins. There are now 4 Hall of Famers from the 1976 runner-up Rushville Lions team, and we now have two Hall of Famers from the same household, 416 East 7th Street. Thank you to my brothers and sisters, Joella, Larry, David, rest in peace, Doris, Terry, Bill, Bounce, B.A., R.I.P., and Rick and Chris. Without them, we would be nothing. They set, are setting, and will set positive examples to continue the legacy of the culture achievement in the Bradley Goins family tree. And last but not least, we want to thank my lovely bride, Desiree. 47 years of unconditional love. 3 outstanding and beautiful children, Jordan earning a doctorate, Joseph Dennis deceased, and Benjamin, my ESPN digital media coordinator, and 2 amazing granddaughters, Emerson and Aslan. Thank you, dear. I love you, and this is your moment too. Romans 10:9 says that if you confess with your mouth Jesus Christ and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. On September the 24th, 1996, I surrendered my life to Christ Jesus, and it's the best thing that I ever did. This Family Hall of Fame recognition is a close second. I wear a bracelet, 4 symbols. The heart, God loves you. The division sign, sin separates us. The cross, Jesus died for us. And the question mark, will you trust him? This Family Hall of Fame recognition means a lot to me and my family, and I would like for all of them in this room to please stand. And you know who you are. My classmates, my teammates, Muncie, Rushville, Carbondale. My accountability partners, my Bible study fellowship folks. Wayne Township, don't sit in those chairs. Ben Davis High School. This is not about me, but he and we. Remember, we all love you. Thank you. May God bless you and keep you.
Again, before Dennis was a teacher, he was a videographer, photographer, and that's a phrase known as behind the camera. Clearly, as you can tell from his speech, he'd have been just fine in front of the camera as well. Absolutely. And I also want to make sure that we point out that when he references Wayne Township family, there's a couple of students here from Ben Davis High School that'll happen to be starting in the 4A championship game coming up on Saturday night. So Zane Dowdy and Sheridan Sharp, fellas, congratulations on a great season and best of luck coming up on Saturday night. Our next honoree, Jack Hogan, Broad Ripple High School. Jack was called the Pocket Rocket at Broad Ripple as he helped the Rockets win the sectional and regional before losing to eventual state champion Muncie Central. He went to DePauw University. Jack was recognized by Time Magazine as one of the best college players in the country under 6 feet tall. He was also nicknamed Jack the Giant Killer because DePauw beat Butler 3 times when he played at DePauw University. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Hogan.
Thank you, Greg. I am truly honored, humbled, and absolutely thrilled to be inducted into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. And I'm proud to be a small part of this outstanding class. And I just want to congratulate all of you guys and all the families of the men who were inducted posthumously this evening, and the silver anniversary team, of course. Given the 3-minute time constraint, I won't have time to thank everyone who helped me realize my dreams of playing high school and college basketball in Indiana. My friends will be thankful that I also won't have time to tell my Tony Hinkle story yet again. First of all, I'd like to thank and honor my parents, Jack and Millie. They helped me, guide me through life, the ups and downs of basketball. They never missed a game of mine played in the state of Indiana. Traveled to Rensselaer, Valparaiso, Evansville on snowy winter nights. The old Indiana Collegiate Conference, which also included Ball State, Indiana State, and Butler, as Greg mentioned. I'm also grateful to have played for 2 Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame coaches, Gene Ring at Broad Ripple High School and Elma McCall at DePaul University. In addition to my parents and coaches, I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for my teammates. There are several future Hall of Famers in that group. I loved playing with those guys and for the Broad Ripple Rockets and DePaul Tigers. I wouldn't change any part of it, even if I had the chance. Well, that's a lie. The 1963 semi-state game versus Muncie Central would have a happy ending this time. Yep, it still stings a bit after 60 years. I owe a huge thank you to everyone who supported my nomination and the selection committee for awarding me this great honor. And thanks to the Hall of Fame staff for their efforts in staging this wonderful day, a day I'll never forget. I greatly appreciate my friends who are here tonight. They include schoolmates from PS 59, Broad Ripple High School, and DePaul. Also my golf buddies from Meridian Hills, Delta Tau Delta fraternity brothers, former tennis and platform tennis partners, former co-workers, and especially my son Slater, grandson Jack, daughter-in-law Erin, and my partner Mary. Also, surprise guests, my ladies from the Assistance League of Indianapolis. They do wonderful things for IPS students, for underserved IPS students. So thank you all for coming. With a few words I've added to the end, I'd like to read a poem that I think is very appropriate for basketball in Indiana and the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. I hope you like it. It's titled, The Game. To run, jump, and throw. To gracefully stop, then powerfully go. To know when to be fast and where to be slow. To not get too high or ever too low. It's the gift of the shift, the hand and the eye, the power of synapse, and the vision to try. To win with a grin and lose with the same, and always remember it's more or less just a game, but not in Indiana. Thank you.
I know. Our next honoree is Kirk Mans, North Judson High School. Kirk led the state in scoring as both a junior and a senior as a Blue Jay, ending his career with 1,962 career points. He was All-State in both football and basketball. He was the runner-up for Mr. Basketball, played for Judd Heathcote at Michigan State, finished with over 1,200 career points, shot 47.5% from three-point range in his days as a Spartan, and once made 8 threes in a game. Scratch that, he did that twice. These days, he's the athletic director and basketball coach at Seymour High School. I knew this was an important night because Dave Urbanski, his colleague, is wearing a tie. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Mans.
I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this special recognition. It's been an amazing day and evening. It's a great honor to be here tonight. I'd like to extend my congratulations to all the inductees and their families. It's incredibly special to stand on this stage with you. After I was notified of the selection and had some time to reflect, I was reminded of how much the game has given me, and even more so, that I did not achieve any of this alone. There are way too many people to thank, but it is impossible to not make a few acknowledgments. My two uncles who are here tonight, Tim and Randy Rao, who spent countless hours on the court with me, let me tag along with them, and always have encouraged and challenged me. The players that I have played with, my guys, unbreakable bond. I'm forever grateful for their friendship, their support, and their unselfishness. One of those guys is here tonight, David Hall of Blue Jays. So glad that he was able to be here. The coaches who coached me and mentored me. High school football coach Russ Radke. My education on how to push my mental and physical limits began with him. High school basketball coach Dave McCullough, who challenged me daily to reach my potential and work hard on my behalf to convince college coaches that I was worth taking a chance on. Judd Heathcote, who passed away in August of 2017. Coach Heathcote was willing to take that chance and offer me the opportunity to attend and play at Michigan State University. The game provided an opportunity for a career in athletics that I've been blessed with now for nearly 30 years, which began when Coach Bob Donewald gave me the opportunity to be an assistant coach on his staff at Western Michigan University. He not only taught me how to coach, but those 7 years served as a training ground for everything I've done professionally since. But the best thing that happened during my time at Western Michigan was that I met Coach Donewald's daughter, Lisa. Lisa is the daughter of a coach, the sister of a coach, the wife of a coach, and the mother of a coach. The true Hall of Famer. Our family's biggest supporter. She is without a doubt the best thing that's ever happened to me. We've been married for nearly 29 years now. Our children, Celia and Kirk, who we are so proud of, are both putting their own stamp on this world, and alongside them are our son-in-law, Max, and our daughter-in-law, Paxton. They are my world. I'm so grateful for my family members that are here tonight, the friends that are here tonight, the Owls that are here tonight, the Blue Jays that are here tonight. I appreciate you all more than you know. Lastly, I want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, I couldn't be here, and through him, all things are possible. Thank you.
As Kirk goes back to his seat, I want to make sure I get this right. Russ Radke, Dave McCullough, Judd Heathcote, Bob Donewald. That's a heck of a list that you played for. Understood. Also, Lisa, having so many connections to coaches, forgive me up for the Hall of Fame. She's up for sainthood, I think, at this point. Kirk, congratulations. Our next honoree is Eric Montross of Lawrence North High School. Eric was, absolutely, you can applaud for that. Eric was a part of the 1989 Lawrence North Wildcat State Championship team. And, of course, that would then lead to his days at North Carolina, where he would win an NCAA championship. In his days of playing for Jack Kiefer, he had 1,874 career points, over 1,200 career rebounds. He nearly duplicated those numbers at North Carolina. 10-year NBA career. These days, Eric is the color commentator for North Carolina basketball. Eric had planned on being here tonight. Unfortunately, kind of had a late health issue family-wise and could not make it here tonight. So unfortunately, Eric is not here. However, I referenced Jack Kiefer, he who was the only head basketball coach at Lawrence North until this season and who has the court named after him at Lawrence North. He is here and is accepting Eric's plaque on his behalf. Let's welcome Jack Kiefer, and ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Eric Montross. Jack Kiefer, ladies and gentlemen. Our next honoree is Drake Morris from East Chicago, Washington High School. Drake averaged 28 points per game as a senior. Runner-up in Mr. Basketball, led the team to a runner-up to Carmel in the state championship game. Drake had a 4-year career at Purdue where he scored over 1,200 points, was named All Big Ten as a senior. He played 3 years in Italy and averaged over 35 points per game. Ladies and gentlemen, Drake Morris.
Wow. Well, I just like, it's been a long day. I promise not to hold you all long, but I like to start off thanking my fellow inductees. Also, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this honor. I'm very grateful to have my name placed alongside of others who've been recognized for their high school basketball accomplishments. It's been very overwhelming, but it was worth it. I'm very grateful of that. I have always had a passion and respect, and most of all, love for the game of basketball. Basketball has done a lot of things for me. It took me a lot of places, and that I am very grateful of. That's why I'm so humble and grateful to accept this honor. I would like to also thank a very special person, two people that have been very instrumental in my life. They could not be here today. Well, one that's not here today is my coach, John Moladet, who believed in me. John Moladet once told me that he wouldn't mind taking us anywhere in the state of Indiana to play, because I think the state of Indiana was the best basketball in the Midwest country. Also, I'd like to give thanks to Miss Mildred Ball. Can you please stand? Miss Mildred Ball, she's like a breath of fresh air, and I'm very grateful of her. Miss Mildred Ball, she organized a team called the Top 20. And the Top 20 was a halftime show that was very, very interesting and very unique. It did a very wonderful job. I'd like to thank you, Miss Ball. Thank you. Also, I'd like to share this honor with my children, especially my kids, who they couldn't be here today. One is deceased. But my nephew is here. He's representing the one that's Drake Jr. that's deceased. Rest in peace. Also, I'd like to thank my family, my parents. I wish you all was here today to share this honor with me. And sharing this honor with me, now I'd like to dedicate this honor in their loving memory. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Our last honoree of the night, we made him wait because he's here all the way from Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Stevens. Brad set 5 school records at Zionsville. First team academic All-State. Played for Bill Fenlon, who is here tonight at DePaul University. He was academic All-American for 3 years. You maybe have heard of his coaching exploits around here. Led Butler to back-to-back national championship games in 2010 and 2011. His winning percentage at Butler, 77%. Coached the Boston Celtics for the better part of a decade, and these days, the president of basketball operations for the Boston Celtics, which very kindly allows him to be here. He got to be part of a lecture series on campus on Monday, and I really enjoyed that pose of you and the missus with the Monon Bell from earlier this week, too. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Stevens.
Thank you. Well, I'm last, so that's good. And I've got a high school coach, he was a volunteer high school coach. If he would have chosen to be a full-time coach, he would have been one of the best coaches in the world. Phil Eisenbarger's sitting over there, and Phil told me my junior year, he said, every time you leave the gym, make your last shot. And so he sat up in the bleachers one game instead of sitting on the bench, and I didn't make my last shot. After warm-ups, I went out and laid an egg at New Palestine. And he grabbed me when you could still grab people, right? He grabbed me, and he said, I told you always make your last shot. To this day, Phil, when I'm rebounding for Brady, when I'm in the Celtics practice facility, if I was watching Matt Howard and Zach Hahn, who are over there, who really carried Butler to where we went, right? If I'm in the gym, I always make my last shot. So the good news is we're going to give it a go. The bad news is we're going to have to redo it if it doesn't go great. So it's great to be here. I have a lot of people that I'd like to thank. I'm going to start with my family. I can't talk too long about them because I'll get emotional. But my wife, Tracy, who's been my agent, my psychologist, my assistant coach, my best friend, and everything else is over there. My kids, Brady, who's 17 and is a player and loves the game. And my daughter, Kinsley, who's 13, who loves soccer and doesn't like basketball all that much. Both of them want to coach, so the messages that you all relayed, right, starting from Coach Blackman on, mean a lot to me because it's great to hear those messages when you have kids in the building. I'd like to thank my coaches that are here. Coach Finland said it's a relationships business, and that could not be more true. Anytime that you get a chance to spend time with coaches and as a part of a team, that's what it's all about. My coaches that are no longer with us, Dave Salman, my high school coach, Red Taylor, my wonderful AAU coach, we miss you, and they taught me so much about the good stuff of the game. Phil, I mentioned, I have Thad, who hired me at Butler, who isn't here today, but his wife Barb is, and Todd Licklider, who probably had more impact on my coaching career than anyone else. I'll tell you a quick story about Thad. Jabril, you should listen closely. We lose a game at Indiana State. Right, stick your chest out, right? Keelan Block makes a shot at the end of the game. It's a double overtime game. We're 3-1 on the season. I'm devastated in my first year in coaching, and I know how I'd react and how most of our teams would react in the past, and that is be disappointed and let it carry on for several days. Thad walks in the locker room after complaining the whole way to the locker room and walks in and says, we're going to be great this year. It changed my thought about coaching, and it changed my thought about how to coach and get the most out of people. And Todd just built off of that and made it so easy to learn to be a coach. Obviously, when you're there and you get a chance to learn from those people and then get a chance to do the job yourself, I owe so much to Barry Collier and to Danny Ainge for seeing something in me and giving me an opportunity at a young age at those levels to try to coach those teams. But I also owe a ton to the staff that were next to us and with us, right? I am lucky enough to have coaches all over the country coaching basketball. As Mike Lightfoot said, there's no more fun than rooting for those teams. I have a former assistant at Purdue, Indiana State. We've got the head coach at Ball State. I heard something about Notre Dame's going on today, which I'm pretty excited about. And we've just got people all over the world and all over the country, and certainly in this state, that we are always turning into oftentimes in the middle of a Celtics game, don't tell anybody. That can be distracting. The last thing that I want to say is, obviously, if you're a coach, it starts and ends with the players. And so my first year as a volunteer, when I was then hired right before the season as director of basketball operations at Butler, we had incredible players like Laval and Ryland and Brandon and Thomas and Darnell, all the way to my last year as a coach with the Celtics with Jason, Jalen, and Marcus. That's why I'm standing up here. I hate to say it. If we drafted for a pickup game, I'd be last. So let's be real. And so it's all about the guys that I mentioned, the players that I mentioned, and a kid that grew up in this state and was able to live a special childhood that brought a passion out with him. I'll end with telling you I was 8 years old when my basket went up in my driveway, and I'll never forget that day. My mom and dad are here. Thank you for everything that you've done, but especially in this moment and as I think about this journey, for that day, seeing that court and walking down that street changed a lot of things. Later on that year, I was sitting in Assembly Hall about 20 rows up behind my favorite coach who threw a chair at the free throw shooter of another player against another coach who now is going to be a Naismith Hall of Famer right across the way. Got a chance in '87 to watch my favorite team cut down the nets, and got a chance as a kid to be not only a player and a guy that aspired to be an Olympian and a IU player and a professional and follow my Reggie Millers and Steve Alfords and all these people, and then realize I didn't have any of that in my system. But what I did have is an incredible love for the game. I had incredible support, incredible people around me, and I've continued to this day. And I'll say that everywhere I go in Indiana, from walking into the gym in Newcastle to the Hall of Fame in Newcastle today, right, to our first date, Tracy, at the Wigwam in Anderson, to watching Zach play at Chrysler Fieldhouse, to watching Matt play in the Spartan Bowl, to watching Indiana games as a kid in Assembly Hall, to being at the IU Purdue game a few weeks ago as a scout for the Boston Celtics in Mackey Arena, and then obviously to get the keys to Hinkle Fieldhouse, right? It's pretty special. And I'm thankful to be here, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to grow up in a place that it matters as much. Thank you.
I've been around Brad when he's undersold his basketball ability before, so let me point one thing out about this. Brad led Zionsville to a sectional championship his senior year in 1995. They didn't win one again for 22 years. And Brad, in the 3 sectional games in 1995, scored 97 points combined. So he could play a little bit more than he's letting on. The other thing I'll add this as well. Most of my career has been spent as a play-by-play guy or a talk show host. There was actually a brief time that one of my primary jobs was to write. And it happened to be Brad's last year at Butler, their lone year in the A-10. And because academics are important at Butler University, kind of like John Chaney and Temple back in the day, there were some times when Butler's primary practice was like 6A to 8A or 7 to 9. And there was a time where the weekly media availability for Butler basketball was about 9:15 in the morning. And that usually meant there would be 2 people there for the press conference, myself and David Woods, which became hang out in Brad's office and talk basketball. And it's one of the things I treasure to this day. So, Brad, congratulations. Now, there is a formal induction ceremony about to take place, but however, Mr. Baltz, Oscar Evans has requested the floor for 10 more seconds. I'm not going to turn him down. Oscar, go ahead.
With my 10 seconds, I just wanted to thank all of my family and friends and high school mates for over 50 and 60 years. Could you guys please stand up? Thanks, Greg.
There was another banquet one time that I did where a guy forgot to thank his wife. We made sure he got back up there to save his marriage. Everybody else good? We covered? Mr. Baltz, the floor is yours.
Let's give Greg Rakestraw a great hand for this evening. Will all of this evening's honorees up here at the head table please stand up, and the families of the deceased who also were recipients of their family's award tonight, please stand. Gentlemen, as president of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome you into permanent enshrinement and induction in Newcastle, Indiana, as the 2023 class of honored inductees of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Our congratulations. And now, finally, as our banquet co-chairman, Dr. Phil Eskew, is over here smiling because we've set a record time this evening, that concludes our evening. Congratulations to all those honored here this evening. Travel home safely. Thank you for your support of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Good night.